Hey guys, what is up? It's Ash. I haven't made a video in a long time. I promise you that I have attempted to make a video multiple times, but it was probably like a topic I wasn't all that like interested in, and it was kind of hard for me to like consistently like talk about. But I really wanted to talk about this because it feels like it's a topic that's never really discussed, and I have a lot to say about what's it like to be a Buddhist within the Bible Belt. If you don't know what the Bible Belt is, it's kind of like the Midwest of the United States. It's like that middle center line within the U.S. That's where I live. I've lived here all my life, and all my life I have experienced some I will tell you that. Good and bad. It's, as time goes on, it has gone a whole lot better, but there have been like times where it's just kind of like, yo, like, we really gonna do this? Like, it's 2019. My family, except for my dad, they're all Buddhist. I was mainly raised by my mom's side of the family. Whenever I was growing up, I was never forced or even encouraged to even be a Buddhist. It was just like my mom was busy with something on Sunday, and my grandma had to watch me, and since I can't be at the house by myself, I would have to go to the temple with her. And then whenever like all the services and things like that were done, I would just play with the other kids. And the other kids didn't really like, we're just kids. No kid's gonna be like, you need to be a Buddhist. Like, no kid's gonna be like that. So whenever I was growing up, I was never really told like, hey, you should meditate. You should believe that Buddha will help you. You should pray to Buddha or see Buddha as a teacher. I was never ever did my family ever tell me what to do. Whenever I was around, I think it was 8 years old, I decided that I wanted to take the practice seriously, and at 8 years old is whenever I started to meditate. And whenever I mean by meditate, I meant like I meditated a lot. This is whenever I started learning more about Buddha, and then the different philosophies within Buddhism, or just Eastern philosophies in general. I started to pray. This is whenever I started to pray to Buddha, and just become a very well practiced Buddhist. And this kind of went on between like 8 and 12. As I was growing up, I was raised around a whole bunch of Christians. I never met another person who was Buddhist, or even an Asian Buddhist. I haven't even met a single one until I got into high school. Whenever I was growing up, like I said, I never had things like shoved down my throat. The only thing that was shoved down my throat was like respect your elders and be kind, and be very tolerant, and show tolerance to others. That's it. Those were the main things that were like said to me whenever I was growing up. Whenever I would go to school, and then people, I don't know how it would happen, but we get into like some conversation or whatever not, and then the kids would be like, oh my gosh, like blah 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 church, and then I'm like, I don't go to church, and they're like, oh, so you believe in Satan? And I'm just like, who? Like, who's Satan? And they're like, that's the devil. I'm like, cool. He's that red dude, right? And they're like, yes. So that if you don't go to church, do you believe in God? I'm like, no. I'm like, no, I don't. They're like, oh my gosh, so you believe in the devil? I'm like, no. How do I believe in something that I don't even know exists? Excuse me. But obviously, little kid me was just like, no, I don't believe in the devil. I believe in Buddha. And they're like, oh, what's that? I'm like, it was so hard for me to explain what Buddha was, and not a lot of people know what it is. And so, the best reference I can make was, have you ever been to a Chinese restaurant? And like, yeah. I'm like, you see that fat dude who's sitting on the counter? And like, oh yeah, him? He looks so happy. I'm like, that's what I believe. I don't believe in that specific Buddha. I respect all of them, but the practice just goes beyond more than just a piece of stone. That's how I take it. But that was the best way for me to explain it to a kid. From a kid to a kid, that's the best way I could explain it. And they're like, oh, okay. So that you believe in the devil. I'm like, no! Then, stupid. In my practice, there's no such thing as a devil or a devil. And I had to deal with that all my life. Anytime I would I would make this as an expression. I would not try to be mean or derogatory in any way, but I would be like, oh my God. And I'd be like, oh, don't use God's name in vain. How dare you use his name in vain? Blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, yo, chill out. And I think it's so funny whenever I use like that expression. But I see people who are Christian put Buddhas in their bathroom, which is disrespectful. They put Buddhas on the ground, which is probably more disrespectful than putting it in your dang bathroom, maybe. And then, like, and just doing just so many disrespectful things against Buddhas. And whenever I go to their house, I don't go like, oh my God, that is so disrespectful. You're putting like the Buddha on the ground. I don't do none of that. To me, it's like, yo, it's your life. You do what you want to do. I'm just going to be over here doing my thing. Like, it's your choice if you want to put your Buddha on the floor. I'm just going to be straight with you, like, in my head. I'm not going to say it out loud, but that's pretty dang disrespectful. And it kind of hurts my soul a little bit, but it ain't my path. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. And in relationships, I have never officially dated another Buddhist in my days. I even think that the people that I dated officially didn't even tell their parents of my practice, because it was just so, it's just not good. Like, even one of my exes said to me that they told their parents that I went to Life Church. What the fuck? Doesn't Christianity supposed to be very tolerant of others? And aren't you supposed to tell the truth in Christianity, like, while being a Christian? Like, what? I've told my parents that, like, hey, yo, dude I'm dating, he's a Baptist. Hey, yo, dude I'm dating, he's a Methodist. But I've always just told my parents the truth about the people that I'm dating, because I feel like that's what they deserve. And also, if we're going far enough down the line, and then it's like, hey, what kind of wedding are we having? We're having a Buddhist wedding. It's either Buddhist or non-denominational. Only two options. And so I tried to express, like, how it felt that, like, hey, you're lying to your parents, and then your parents are seeing and looking at me, and they're getting a false impression. That's not. I hated that. Like, it just makes me so sad. It's just like they look at me and they're like, oh, she's one of the most perfectest little beings, and she believes in God too. And it's like, no, I don't. I believe Jesus Christ was an actual real person, and he brought a lot of humility and forgiveness and faith to a lot of people, and I really do respect that. But other than that, I don't practice what he does. I don't practice what you do. I practice my own practice. I'm not sure how many other of my ex-partners have said to their parents about me or whatever, not about me not being a Christian, but I need someone to completely tolerate me, because all my life, I remember whenever I was younger and I would go spend the night with my friends, they would try to convert me. whenever I clearly did not want to be converted. I am more than happy, not anymore, but I was, to go to church with my friends and learn what they do and respect what they do and how they show the love for their own practice and faith. Like me being a Buddhist, there's a lot of things that, heck, I even couldn't tell other people who practice the same practice that I do. I couldn't even tell them certain things and my certain experiences because the heck, sometimes they won't even tolerate me or believe me all too well. So I'll put it out right now. Whenever I was younger and whenever I was really strong in my practice, there'll be times whenever I meditated and I would see like a past, I believe was probably a past life, and no, I was not asleep. I know what a sleep ash is, and then there's meditating ash. It's two different things. Anytime I meditate, it's like this like feeling in my brain that feels like waves. It's like forward and backwards. It's just nice like waves, and it's like this rhythm and syncing, and it's like and it's like all with like the breath. And all of a sudden it goes like from like the breath, and then there'll be like, and I would start seeing like visions of from a different time, and it'll be me with like different hands and me wearing a different outfit, and I think it's been a past. I think those were like past lives that I was like in, that were coming into the consciousness and stuff. And I couldn't really tell anyone about that because they would just look at me fucking crazy. They wouldn't believe me, and that shit hurts too. That of like, yeah, I hated that. It just made me so sad. But but that's how strong I got with my practice. Or my friends who were Christians would say like, yes, we tolerate you and we love you for who you are, Ash. But then it's like, why are you trying to convert me? Oh, I love and accept you for all you are, Ash. But I'm not going to tell my parents what you truly believe or what you truly practice. Like, we love and respect you, Ash. But you believing in this thing makes you a bad person. Like, for all my life, I've gotten that, and there's been a few times whenever, or even people would try to make me sound stupid, or that I am wrong whenever they're trying to be like, oh, well, I want to, like, Buddhism seems so interesting. Could you tell me more about it? And it's like, before I used to be like, yeah, sure, but then lately it's just whenever I've been trying to explain it to people of like how how I believe in the practice and how the practice works for me, they're just like, oh, so da, 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 da. And then they get that attitude with it, and they try to make me sound like there's a flaw within the practice. There's a flaw within every single practice on this planet, but they're trying to make me seem like the bad guy. And then after that, I've just been kind of just like keeping what I believe to myself, because I've just been burned so many times with me believing what I believe. I feel like you should practice what you practice, or practice what you preach. And I feel like Buddhists, since like the practice is just, it's just so just like small and simple, it's very easy to follow and abide by, whereas within like Christianity, and then there's just so many different speakers, and the way that information's like thrown around and whatever not, is just a little bit difficult for, I don't know, Christians to just, I don't know, practice what they preach. And also, I feel like it's hard to practice what you preach whenever there's just, I don't know, so much just suffering in the world, where everyone's just constantly suffering. So, I don't know. Beats me. I just know what I practice, and that's kind of my story of me just being what I believe within the area that I live in. Like I said, it has been getting better. A lot more people have been a lot more tolerant of me. Don't really try to question or downplay what in what I practice. So I really do respect that, and people are coming around, and I hope by the time that like the next generation of Buddhists who come into this world, I hope they are just truly and entirely accepted for who they are. So they don't have to deal with the BS I have to deal with. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and hearing my perspective about this topic. Though, but anyways, I hope you guys have a fabulous, fantastic day, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.